Hello, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We are all welcome once again to our Arabic proficiency lessons with our book Alqirā-atur-Rāshida. We are on lesson topic number 55 in the book, which is Ana huna fa'arifuni. Now, what you should know about this topic is that it's more of some literature piece, kind of looks poetic in nature. It's not just the normal essay writings we've seen. It's kind of stylish. So you will see that the topic Ana huna fa'arifuni running through it. You compare that to like the Quran, Surah Ar-Rahman, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. You see it coming repeatedly. It's also a style in writing. There is a point you want to make. There is a specific point you want to make. So you keep hitting on it. You write an article and you want to talk about I am strong, like a literature piece, a kind of a poem or something. So you want to talk about I am strong. So you start with I am strong. I did this, I did that, I did that. Then you bring I am strong again. It's a point you want to make. So you keep hitting on it. As they say, at-tikraru tufidul himar. Repetition benefits even the donkey. Even the donkey that is said to be very dumb, the donkey here to represent a very dumb person. When you keep repeating it, definitely the person will learn something from it. Okay. So that is how we are going to see it. It wouldn't be like the normal essays we've been reading or the normal compositions we've been reading. This is a bit stylish. We will learn a lot here, inshallah. Okay, so he says, Ana huna fa'arifuni. I am here, so know me. Now, up to this point, we don't know who is here. I think we will all have to get to the end, and then if I'm able to know who is here, I'll tell you. If I'm not able to, you also do your best in trying to bring who is the Ana we are to talk about here today. Okay, let's get into it. I am here, so know me. Ana huna fa'arifuni. Okay. He says, Mawlidi wa watani ma tusammunahu al-bahra. My Mawlidi is my birthplace. When we say Mawlid, it has a lot of meanings. It's Ism al-Zaman and it is Ism al-Makan. Ism al-Zaman, the name of a particular era. Ism al-Makan, the name of a place. So when we say Mawlid, it can mean the time of birth or the place of birth. But here when we look at it, it's talking about a place. So what, as we say, as-siyak yadul, it is the context that will point us to what it's referred to here. If not, if somebody just say Mawlidi, it can mean Tarikh Wiladati, the date of my birth. It can mean like that. Or Tarikh al-Milad, it can mean like that. Okay. And when we say Mawlid, it can mean Makan Wiladati, where I was born. So the place the Prophet ﷺ was born is Mawlid al-Nabi. Now, the date the Prophet ﷺ is said to have been born on is also called Mawlid al-Nabi. This is what I'm trying to call your attention to. Time and place. When we say Mawlid, it refers to Ism Zaman or Ism Makan. Okay. But then our Mawlid here is Ism Makan, name of a place. It says Mawlidi, my birthplace, wa watani, and my homeland, my fatherland, or my motherland, as you wish to call it. My home, my country. Watan, country basically, but it refers to your birth country or your home country. When we say Watana bi, Watana rajulu bil Madina, the man dwelled in Medina. Aqama bil Madina, he stayed in Medina, he stayed in the city. So that is where we have the watan from. Okay, so it says, my birthplace and my home country or my homeland, ma tusammunahu, is what you call, is talking to us, is what we call. It says, my birthplace and my home country is what you call al-bahra, the sea. So he's telling that where he was born is the sea, and that is his home country, Al-Bahra. So I think by now we have an idea. The ana here is our case study. The ana is something born in the sea. We know that. It is something that dwells in the sea. We know that also. The sea is his home country. So however it goes, its root is the sea. He says, Ana ibnu ummatin azimatin. Ummah is a nation, a people. It says, Ana ibnu ummatin azimatin. I'm a son of a great nation. Now when we say Ana ibnu kada, it can mean I am born of a great nation. Not literally I am the son, as Ibnu will tend to mean. So don't always take it to mean the son of. Like he says, Ana ibnu ashara sinin. Ana ibnu ashara sinin. If you go translating literally, I am a son of 10 years. You see, it doesn't really, you can give it a meaning that suits it. I'm a 10 years born. I'm a 10 years old. You can go that way. So he says, Ana ibnu ummatin azimatin. I am born of a great nation. قد امتدت على مسافة آلاف من الأميال. امتدت. What does امتدت mean? To stretch. امتدت. قد امتدت على مسافة آلاف من الأميال. Alaf is the plural of alf, 1,000. Masafa is distance. So this Ummah Azima that I was born of has stretched to a distance of thousands of miles. Amyal is the plural of milun, miles. Okay? It says, Mawlidi wa watani ma tusammunahu al-bahra. أنا ابن أمة عظيمة قد امتدت على مسافة آلاف من الأميال. My nation where I was born stretches on a distance of thousands of miles. ويقولون, and they say, إن أمتي أعظم من أمة البر. And they say that my nation, إن أمتي, my nation, أعظم من أمة البحر, is greater than the nation of the land. Al-Barr is land. So if you see somebody says من البحر والبر, من البحر والبر, that is sea and the land. So Al-Barri here is the land. So he says that they say that my ummah, my people, my nation, ummah can mean country also. That is my abode in general is greater than the nation of the land. What is he comparing here? He's comparing the sea to the land. Basically. It says, فقد شغلنا نحن ثلاثة أرباع القرى. We شغلنا, we've occupied. If he says شغلت هذه الغرفة, that is, I've occupied this room. Shagala can mean to work, like fa'ala, amila, to work. Shagala, as you've just learned right now, can also mean to work, to occupy. You know, in Arab, in grammatical analysis, we say that like something like in Arab of something like kitabi jadidun. Then you say kitabi, kitab mubtada marfu'un wa alamatu raf'ihi الضمة المقدرة على ما قبل الياء. الضمة المقدرة على ما قبل الياء لانشغال المحل بحركة المناسبة أو بحركة المناسبة. So inshigal, the place has been occupied. You hear it in Arab a lot. This is to those who are used to Arab. Not everybody is used to Arab. Just to those who are used to Arab. You hear the inshigal al-mahal, the occupation of the position, biharakat al-munasaba, by the haraka of the appropriate haraka, basically. So when we say shagala, I to occupy. I've said that it has several meanings. I wouldn't want you to get confused. Shagala can mean to work, amila. Shagala can mean to do. Shagala can mean to occupy. Okay, you hear a lot. Shagala mansib ra'is al-dawla. He occupied the position of the head of state. Shagala sabiqan, we say something like Ar-Ra'is John Mahama, or we say As-Sayyid John Dramani Mahama قد شغل منصب الرئيس الدولة أو رئيس الدولة. Listen again. In Ghana, John Mahama previously occupied the position of the head of state. So what do we say? We say John Dramani Mahama قد شغل سابقا منصب رئيس الدولة. شغل أي بمعنى عمل أو بمعنى occupy. He occupied the position of the head of state. Okay. فقد شغلنا نحن, we've occupied, we, ثلاثة أرباع القرى. القرى هي not ball, كرة الأرضية, كرة الأرض, كرة الأرضية, the globe. القرى here is the globe. أرباع, you cut something into 4 pieces. So that is the arba, robo. 4 quarters of something are called the arba here, plural of robo. So we have occupied 3 quarters of the globe. Yani he is telling us that the sea has occupied 3 quarters of the globe. Wal yabisu, yabis is basically something which is dry. Yabisa, to be dry. And it says al-yabis here. Yabis is the name, another name for al-ard, the land. Is another name for what? Al-barri, the hard land, not water, not the water bodies, the hard land. Okay, so that is al-yabis. Wal-yabisu minha, and the dry land of the qura, minha ay min al-qura, the dry land of the globe, nahu rub'in, is about nahu rub'in, it's about a quarter. So they are trying to say that, as we popularly say, that the water bodies are a 70% of the globe, and then the dry land makes the 30%. So he's trying to say that maybe the water bodies occupy 75%, so about 3 quarters, and then the hard land also occupy a quarter of it. Okay. And then what does he say? He says, قد فارقت وطني, I left my homeland. وطني, I left my fatherland or my motherland. قبل شهرين, 2 months ago. That's how we say ago. قبل شهرين. Say قبل أسبوعين, 2 weeks ago. قبل يومين, 2 days ago. قبل يوم, a day ago. That is how we say ago. You get it? So we should take note of that very well. Those expressions sometimes are hard to come by. Okay. It says قبل سنة, قبل سنتين, قبل شهرين, قبل أسبوعين, قبل يومين, 2 years ago, 2 months ago, 2 weeks ago, like that. Okay. It says لما اشتد الحر, لما اشتد الحر في هذا الصيف. اشتد, I to be severe. لما اشتد الحر, when the heat became severe. في هذا الصيف, in this summer. الصيف, summer, S-U-M-M-M-E-R. When the heat became severe in this summer, تكون بخار, vapor was formed. تكون بخار. So it says تكون بخار, I, vapor was formed. تكون, to be formed. تكون بخار, vapor was formed. وفارق البحر, and it's left, the vapor left the sea. وسارت به الرياح, and the winds moved with it. The winds carried it. Sarat bihi. Ar-riyahu. The winds carried it. Ila al-jibali, to the mountains. Plural of Jabal. Wa huwa as-sahabu, and it is the clouds. As-sahab is the cloud. The cloud. The plural is suhub. Clouds. He says that this vapor, because of heat, it formed on top of the sea, and the wind carried it towards the mountains. This vapor is the sahabu, is the cloud, al-musakharu, that is subjected, or that hangs, bayna as-sama'i wal-ard, that hangs between the sky and the earth. Now the clouds, if you are in the flight, you realize that that's not the sky. It is just a bit higher than us, and it's in between the sky and the in the earth and the floor and the earth that we are on. So it says that wa huwa as-sahabu al-musakharu, that which is subjected, bayna as-sama'i wal-ardi, between the sky and the earth. Al-musakharu, subjected. This is a Quranic word, and let me just search and give you where it is so that we can all find it. I think it came in the Quran, which is plural, musakharatu, same word, but if you should go to the Quran and you look at the translation, you realize that the meaning will just hit you right away. Okay, so you check Surah Al-A'raf, verse number 54, Quran chapter 7, verse number 54, Surah Al-A'raf. You read somewhere towards the ending of the verse, you read وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ وَالنُّجُومَ مُسَخَّرَاتٌ وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ وَالنُّجُومَ مُسَخَّرَاتٍ بِأَمْرِهِ مُسَخَّرَاتٍ بِأَمْرِهِ, and it's translated that the sun, the moon, and the stars made subservient by his command. Okay, now let's look at Surah An-Nahl, chapter number 16, verse number 12 and 79. 12 and 79 has these words. He also says, وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمُ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ وَالنُّجُومَ. وَسَخَّرَ, the verb is سَخَّرَ. مُسَخَّرَاتٌ بِأَمْرِهِ, they are all subservient by his command. You look at verse number 79, that is where you get the meaning that best suits here. وَهُوَ السَّحَابُ الْمُسَخَّرُ, it is the clouds that is subjected or hangs, that hangs between the sky and the earth. You read Surah Al-Nahl, verse number 79, and it says, أَلَمْ يَرَوْا إِلَى الطَّيْرِ مُسَخَّرَاتٍ فِي جَوِّ السَّمَاءِ مَا يُمْسِكُهُنَّ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Now look at the meaning. Do they not see the birds constrained in the middle of the sky? Constrained in the middle of the sky. That is, they are hanging in the middle of the sky. They are subjected in the middle of the sky. Okay. So you can refer to the verses I just gave and you get more understanding of the word. It's more important that you have a full hand. You have all the ability on a particular word. It says, وَهُوَ السَّحَابُ الْمُسَخَّرُ بَيْنَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ. It is the cloud that hangs between the sky and the earth. It says, فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُ الْأَمْرُ مِنَ اللَّهِ. جَاءَهُ, the who here is referring to the sahab, the cloud. And when the command, al-amru min Allah, and when the command from Allah came to the cloud, tahallala هذا البخار بالحرارة. This vapor, when you say something tahallala, to go into smaller particles. Now you see the cloud is one body like this formed. When you say tahallala bimana, it breaks into small particles. That is what we call tahallul. Okay. And it says tahallala hadha al-bukhar. This vapor breaks down bil harara. With now harara here, harara has a lot of meanings. Harara can mean what? Temperature. Harara can mean eagerness. Harara can basically means can basically mean heat. Heat. So here, it can mean that when the command of Allah comes to the cloud, like fall down as rain, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the cloud, fall down as rain, it breaks down into smaller, the vapor breaks down into smaller particles. Bil harara, with the heat, we can say that, or with the temperature, we can say that. We can also say with eagerness. That is, it breaks down with some zealousness, some eagerness. All face very well. وَنَزَلَ, and it falls or descends. قَطَرَاتٍ, we've seen this word قَطَرَ, قَطَرَةَ مَاءٍ. I said that is a drop of water. The plural is قَطَرَات, drops. وَنَزَلَ قَطَرَاتٍ قَطَرَاتٍ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ, it falls drops by drops على الأرض, on earth. We repeated قَطَرَاتٍ here. It's not wrong. And it's not even a useless repetition. It's just giving you the image of how rain is a pictorial text. It's picturing it for you, how the rain falls. قَطَرَاتٍ قَطَرَاتٍ. You can say قَطَرَات بعد قَطَرَات. Drops after drops. على الأرض, on top of the earth. It falls on the earth. وَقَالَ النَّاسُ, and people say, الْمَطَرُ الْمَطَرُ, rain, rain. وَأَنَا هُنَا فَاعرفوني, and I am here, so know me. See how it goes. This is one part of it. Now, you will see this thing all throughout. When it is about ending, you will see this وَقَالَ النَّاسُ something, something, and you bring وَأَنَا هُنَا فَاعرفوني. This is the first part. When there is heat, so much heat in summer, there is vapor on top of the sea, winds blow it to the mountains, it goes into the sky as forms clouds hanging in the sky, and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrees that it should fall down, it breaks down into smaller particles, drops of water, and it falls on top of the earth, and people say, rain, it's raining, it's raining. وَأَنَا هُنَا فَاعرفوني, and I am here, so know me. Those who are good at literature will really help us here. With أَنَا هُنَا فَاعرفوني, who is here? Who is here? Okay, let's go again. It says لَعَلَّكُمْ رَأَيْتُمْ كِدْرًا عَلَى النَّارِ فِيهَا مَاءٌ. Kidran, the word kidrun is cooking pot or kettle for heating water, or a cooking pot. That is what is called kidrun. It says لَعَلَّكُمْ رَأَيْتُمْ, perhaps you have seen a cooking pot على النار, on top of fire, فيها ماء, that has water in it. So you see a pot on top of water. Perhaps you've seen this sight before, that there is a pot on top of water, on top of fire with water in it. فَإِذَا غَلَتِ الْقِدْرُ, galat is from gala, gain lam alif, gala, to boil. Says فَإِذَا غَلَتِ الْقِدْرُ, and when the kettle or cooking pot boils, basically when the water boils. Gala is how we call in Hausa you say na tabasa. In Asante language they will say ehuru. In English, that is boiling, when the water gets very hot and there are bubbles like that. That is it. That is what we call gala. Okay. So you've seen the cooking pot on top of water, on top of fire with water in it, and when the water boils, okay, tasa'ada minha mithlu dukhan, tasa'ada mithlu dukhanin minha, something like dukhan, and dukhan is what? Smoke, S-M-O-K-E, smoke. When you set fire, you see smoke coming out. So it says that when you boil water and the water starts to boil, tasa'ada is to climb up. Tasa'ada, you see that something like smoke is climbing up. That is, it's going up. Minha, from the kidr, from the pot, you see something like a smoke getting up. Wahuwa al-bukharu, and that is also a vapor. That is the vapor. Wa ana huna fa'arifuni. You see it, and I am here, so know me. this is a second scenario. The first was the one with vapor coming on top of the sea, going up and forming rain. And we say, Al-mataru, al-mataru. And he says, Ana huna fa'arifuni, I'm here, so know me. And now we have, when you boil water, the vapor goes up, and that thing is called bukhar. And he says, I am here, fa'arifuni. It's like saying, I am still the one, so know me. Okay. And he tells us, وَإِذَا نَزَلَ الْمَطَرُ, and when the rain falls, وَجَمَدَتْ قَطَرَاتِ. When we say jamad al-shay, that is to become solid. You know jamad, inanimate things. Inanimate things are called jamad because they are not human, they don't have life in them. When we say jamad al-shay, to become solid. Okay, or to become stiff. It says, وَإِذَا نَزَلَ الْمَطَرُ, when the rain falls, وَجَمَدَتْ قَطَرَاتِ, and my drops become solid, drops of water, my drops become solid, مِنَ الْبَرْدِ, due to cold. When there is so much cold, and so the drops of water become solid. They are no more liquid, they become solid. وَقَعَتْ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ مِثْلَ الزُّجَاجِ, it falls, وَوَقَعَتْ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ, and it falls on the land, مِثْلَ الزُّجَاجِ, like the glass. When the water becomes solid and it falls on the ground like glass, it will fall and crash like that, like a glass. قَالَ النَّاسُ, people say, الْبَرَدُ الْبَرَدُ. Now you see the style I was talking about. You keep repeating this thing. Al-baradu, al-baradu, that is, al-barad is snow, not al-bard. When the ra has kon, that is cold, cold. When the ra has fatha, al-baradu, we mean ice or snow, snow. I think it has another name as saqtu or something like that. Okay? And then it says, wa ana huna fa'arifuni, so I am here, so know me. Now, when the water falls, and the water falls in ices, it's called snow. Like it falls in Europe and other places like that. Africa, we are not used to that. Or let me just say, Ghana, we don't see that. We don't see snow here. وَقَدْ أَسْقُطُ, and I might fall, or at times I fall. Qad here can mean at times, or I might fall. وَقَدْ أَسْقُطُ فِي الْجِبَالِ, at times I fall in the mountains. مثل الصوف, like the wool. A suf bimana wool, cotton wool, you can call it wool, WOOL. وقد أسقط في الجبال مثل الصوف الأبيض اللامع, white shining wool. اللامع is shining, glittering. So sometimes in the mountains the water can fall like a wool. You find it dropping calmly, drops. There are also water, part of the water formations, but it falls slowly, not like ice. It looks lighter. It looks like a cotton wool. It will be falling slowly like that, and it glitters. Wa alma'u, and I glitter fi shamsi, in the sun. When the sun falls on it, it glitters. It says, wa alma'u fi shamsi, I glitter in the sun. Mithla al-lujaini, like silver. Al-lujaini is silver. فَيَكُونُ مَنْظَرًا جَمِيلًا, so that it looks, it creates a beautiful scene. Manzar is a scene, a sight. فَيَكُونُ مَنْظَرًا جَمِيلًا, so that it becomes a beautiful scene. وَيَقُولُ النَّاسُ, and people say, الثَّلْجُ الثَّلْجُ. الثَّلْج is ice. Ice. That is where we have thalaj from. Thalaja, fridge. الثَّلْج. When people see that thing falling, then they will say ice, ice. It is ice, of course. Just like snow is also ice. And he says, wa ana huna fa'arifuni, and I'm here, so know me. So it is in the ice it is in the snow, it is in the vapor, it was born from the sea. I don't know where we are. What is the ana here still? He said, وَقَدْ يَشْتَدُّ الْبَرْدُ, and the cold can be severe. We read اشتد الحر, heat can be severe. يشتد البرد, the cold can be severe. في الشتاء, during winter. فَيَجْمُدُ مَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمَاءِ, so that which was water now becomes solid. يَجْمُدُ, from جَمَدَ يَجْمُدُ. So that if in winter it becomes severely cold, that which was water now becomes solid. وَيَقُولُ النَّاسُ, and people say, الْجَلِيدُ الْجَلِيدُ وَأَنَا هُنَا فاعرفوني. الْجَلِيدُ الْجَلِيدُ. Al-Jalid is said to be frost, I think. Al-Jalidu. Jalid basically means something that is hard, something that is stiff. You get it? Anything that is stiff. Sometimes you look at this thing, skin, leather. So you call it jiled. The skin of human being is jiled. We call leather to, we give that same name to leather. Okay. So when the water freezes to become ice, it's also called al-jalidu. That is frost. When you look at all these words, frost, snow, the ice, you realize that they are all the same ice family. They are all water becoming solid, kind of. Just that they have differences. Such that the one he told us here that it looks like Asuf al-Abyad al-Lami is lighter in the mountains. When you watch these Chinese movies, sometimes they show that a lot. You see that in the mountains it falls lightly. When you look at this Jalid, he's saying that water can just freeze and become solid, and that is called Jalid. Okay, and that is frost. Basically ice, crystals of ice. Crystals of ice. Okay. Wa ana huna fa'arifuni, and I am here, so know me. Okay. Wa idha habattu, if I fall. Wa idha habattu min al-jibali ila al-ardi, if I fall from the mountains to the earth or to the land. وَزَاحَمَنِي صُخُورٌ. Zahama shay, to raise it, to move with it. It says وَزَاحَمَنِي صُخُورٌ. That is where we got zahma from, or izdiham. Izdiham, when everybody is moving together, we are all together at one place moving together, then we form crowd and traffic. That is what we call izdiham. It says وَزَاحَمَنِي صُخُورٌ. And rocks, if I fall from the mountains and rocks follow me. When the water is falling from the mountains, it picks rocks, and the rocks follow me. Plural of sakhrun. Aw ahjarun, or stones. Plural of hajar. Sukhur is plural of sakhrun, and ahjar is plural of hajarun. Sukhur are rocks, R-O-C-K-S. Hajar is stones. Kana shallalun yakunu lahu, then a shallal happens. A shallal is waterfall. The plural is shallalat, waterfalls. There is this book we read when we were in Markaz al-Nil. You find this word inside and these issues about water running through mountains and all this stuff. Rubbanani li safinatin wahid. The book is Rubbanani li safinatin wahid. I wish it was close so that I will show the copy to you. Found it. That's the book. I don't know if it will show clearly. We read it when we were in Markaz al-Nil. Okay. There's it. Rubbanani li safinatin wahid. It's a storybook and it's very, very nice. It's completely vowelized. Very nice story book. Okay. you find this shalalat and all these issue about streams, water running from mountains and all this stuff in there. Okay. So kana shalalun. Now when water falls from the mountain and it picks rocks and stones and all that, it runs through them. Kana shalalun. A shalal happens. That is, a waterfall occurs. Then we say waterfall. يَكُونُ لَهُ صَوْتٌ هَائِلٌ. It gets this magnificent voice. When the water is falling from the mountains, it has this magnificent voice, sound. صَوْتٌ هَائِلٌ. وَمَنْظَرٌ جَمِيلٌ. And a beautiful sight, a beautiful view. وَأَنَا هُنَا فَاعرفوني. And I am here, so know me. وَإِذَا اجْتَمَعَتْ شَلَّالَاتٌ. And if the waterfalls gathers together, if the waterfalls gather, the plural shallalatun, if they gather, kharajtu min al-jibali. I come out of the mountains. That is, I am formed of the mountains. If this water flows from this mountain, this water flows from this mountain, and they come together, I am formed from the mountains. فَكُنْتُ نَهْرًا. Then I become a river. يَكُونُ فِي مَبْدَئِهِ صَغِيرًا. In its beginning, mabda is the beginning of something. يَكُونُ فِي مَبْدَئِهِ صَغِيرًا. أي يَكُونُ صَغِيرًا فِي مَبْدَئِهِ. It is small in its beginning. ثُمَّ يَكُونُ عَرِيضًا عَمِيقًا. Two words here. Arid, when we say something is arid, the thing is wide, broad. The thing is broad like that. So if I say tawila arida, a wide table. Arid, wide, very wide, broad. Amik, deep. So it starts small, the river starts small, and then it becomes very broad, wide, and deep. Okay. وقال الناس, and people say, نهر السند, نهر دجلة, والفرات, والنيل. People give it names. نهر السند, that river I think is in India also that we read about. The Sind, Sindh, I think, the river Sind. And Nahru Dijla river, that is I think, I don't know if I remember this name. That's something to do with Tigris or something. Nahru Sindi, and the people give it name Sind, Dijla, and Furat, and River Nile, and all those people name it different names. And he says, Wa ana huna fa'arifuni, and I am here, so know me. Okay. It says, لَعَلَّكَ رَأَيْتَ فِي الصَّبَاحِ. Perhaps you've seen in the morning, أَيَّامِ الشِّتَاءِ. In the days of winter, أَيَّامِ الشِّتَاءِ, winter days. مِثْلَ الدُّخَانِ, something that looks like smoke. لَعَلَّكَ, perhaps you, رَأَيْتَ فِي الصَّبَاحِ, you've seen in the morning, أَيَّامِ الشِّتَاءِ, the days of winter, مِثْلَ الدُّخَانِ, something like smoke. وَيُسَمِّيهِ, and they call it, وَيُسَمِّيهِ النَّاسُ الضَّبَابِ, and people call it ad-dabab. Ad-dabab is fog, F-O-G, fog. When you wake up at dawn, you find this smoky thing, you can't even see ahead. It is called fog. Then that is what we call ad-dabab. So when we have a foggy, you want to say foggy, you say dababiyun, dababi. We normally say al-jawu dababi. You say al-jawu mu'tadilun. The weather is normal, is clear. Al-jawu mu'tadilun. The weather is clear, not hot, not cold. Al-jawu mumtirun. The weather is rainy. Al-jawu dababiyun. The weather is foggy. Okay. Wa ana huna fa'arifuni. And I am here, so know me. لَعَلَّكَ, we are almost coming to the end, so by now we should all be looking at who is the ana, which is here and is asking us to know him. It says, وَلَعَلَّكَ رَأَيْتَ قَطَرَةٍ, perhaps you've seen drops, عَلَى أَوْرَاقِ الْأَشْجَارِ. Awraq is the plural of waraq, and that is a leaf, the leaf of a plant. It says awraq al-ashjari. Perhaps you've seen drops of water on top of the leaves of plants or trees. Ashjar is the plural of shajar. وعلى العشب. Al-ushb is grass. We've seen it already. It's grass. 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 And it's the same word for kela. I think we've seen kela too. Kaf, lam, hamza, alif, hamza. I think we've seen that too. Okay. Says وعلى العشب, and on top of grass. وعلى الأزهار, on top of flowers. في أيام الشتاء, in the winter days. ويسميها الناس الطل والندى. Now, when you wake up at dawn, when the weather, we are in the rainy season or something, we don't have winter here, we have rainy season, Hamatan, stuff like that. But when you are in the place where there is winter and all that, like the Arab lands, the Europe and all that, even when you are in Africa, in the side, from our side, Ghana here, when you wake up in a rainy season or something, you have a grass or flowers close to you, you see these drops, small drops of water on top of these flowers, grass, and you have a plant, you see these drops small on top of them, and they are basically drizzles. That's what we call it, drizzling. Atal and nada, they are the same name given to drizzle. Okay, we have this word again in Maqamat al-Hariri. He says astaskil wabla wattal. Al-wabl is heavy rain and attal is small rain. D-E-W. Okay, so when he says, we have here وَيُسَمِّيهَا النَّاسُ الطَّلَّ وَالنَّدَى. الطَّلَّ وَالنَّدَى basically D-E-W, or drizzle, D-R-I-Z-Z-L-E, small rain. So in Makamat he says that he walked around, he says وَأَسْتَسْكِلْ وَبْلَ وَالطَّلَّ. I seek to drink from heavy rains and small rains. That is, I seek from all sources. We have that too in Makamat. Very beautiful. Okay. And he says, وَأَنَا هُنَا فَاعرفوني, and I'm here, so know me. Now, at-tal is light rain, al-wabl is heavy rain. Mark that. And then he says, قَدْ أَجْمُدُ, I at times become solid. بِالصِّنَاعَةِ فِي الْمَصَانِعِ. Now, sina'a, one thing with using dictionary to read on your own is good, but the problem sometimes it gives is that sometimes you don't need dictionary meaning. Sometimes you just need to have expertise of this language and the second language and your first language. You just need to have expertise of the language, the dimensions of word usage. You just need to have that. وَقَدْ أَجْمُدُ بِالصِّنَاعَةِ. As-sina'a, if you should look at its meaning, it will give you something like industry, manufacturing, stuff like that. But here it means that artificial means, basically. That's how you translate it. وَقَدْ أَجْمُدُ بِالصِّنَاعَةِ. I sometimes become solid by artificial means. People deliberately make me solid. Fil masane. Masane is the plural of masna, which is a company, a factory, a place where manufacturing goes on. So he's saying that at times, the one telling us, the Anna here is telling us that sometimes I am made solid through artificial means in factories. وَيَحْرِسُ عَلَيَّ النَّاسُ. And people harasa, to be so interested in. يَحْرُسُ عَلَى. You can say, أَنَا أَحْرُسُ عَلَى عَلَاقَةِ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكَ. أحرص على العلاقة بيني وبينك. I am very careful about the relationship between me and you. I'm so interested in the relationship between me and you, and so I give it so much care. Okay. وَيَحْرُسُ عَلَيَّ النَّاسُ. And people preserve me. That is the word, preserve. Preserve. And people preserve me أيام الصيف, during the time of summer, during the summer days. So during summer days, through artificial means, this one talking to us is made into solid. فَلَا يَشْرَبُونَ الْمَاءَ, and people do not drink water بِغَيْرِ هَذَا الْجَمَدِ, without this solid thing. وَلَا يَرْوَوْنَ إِلَّا بِهِ, and they do not quench their thirst. Quench thirst is rawa. They do not quench their thirst إِلَّا بِهِ, except with it. وَأَنَا هُنَا فاعرفوني, and I am here, so know me. Now this jamad here is ice. I know that it is ice that are formed artificially through freezing and all that. And in summer, you drink water with ice. You take any juice with what? With ice. So the jamad here we are talking about is ice. So for me, the ana huna, the ana here is water. Alma. Fa'arifuni, so know me, is water basically for me. Because وَقَدْ أَجْمُدُ بِالصِّنَاعَةِ, I am made solid through artificial means. فِي الْمَصَانِعِ, in factories. وَيَحْرِصُ عَلَيَّ النَّاسُ أَيَّامَ الشِّتَاءِ, and people preserve me during summer. فَلَا يَشْرَبُونَ الْمَاءَ بِغَيْرِ هَذَا الْجَمَدِ, and they do not drink water except this solid thing. Of course, it's water that is made into ice. So for me, the ana huna is water. Water is telling us that I am here, so know me. And water is telling us that its birthplace is what? Its homeland is the Bahr, is the sea. Mawlidi wa watani ma tusammunahu al-Bahr. For me, ana is water, is al-Ma. I don't know what you got from it. What you also think ana is, you can drop it in the comment section. Let's have a discussion, inshallah. Okay, so till we meet again, I think this has been a lengthy one, but interesting. Since it's a video, you pause it at will, you play back at will, however you wish it. Okay, so till we meet again, have a very good Arabic time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.